Hi, welcome back. Oops with C++ session 9. In last session, we have discussed about introduction to namespace, and also we have seen by using namespace we can avoid global data collision. In today's session, we will see how to access namespace contents. Okay, so in last session we have discussed that namespaces are names given to globally declarative region. But how can we access those globally declarative regions which are present inside namespace? Either that global declarative regions may be that global declarations may be functions or a class or a variable or a structure or an enum. Okay, so all these global declarations we can place it inside a namespace. Now how to access those namespace contents? Okay, so now in C++ we can access these namespace contents in three different ways. One is using scope resolution operators. This is double colon, this is nothing but scope resolution operator. And second method is using declarative method, and third one is using directive method. Okay, so we'll see in today's session how to access the namespace contents by using scope resolution operator. Okay, so now just let's see how to use scope resolution operator when we are using when we are trying to access the contents of the namespace, either it may be variable or function name. The general syntax of so using scope resolution is just mention content name, and it this content name, before this content name you have to prefix with the scope resolution operator, and scope resolution operator has to be prefixed with namespace name from which you are trying to access the contents. Okay, as I said, this content is either it may be a variable or a function or a class or a structure or an enum. Okay, so for example, if you are trying to access a content, a content as a variable name you want to access from a namespace, what you can give is give the variable name, give the scope resolution operator prefix to this, and prefix this scope resolution operator with namespace name. If you are trying to access the function present inside the namespace, then you use the function name, arguments list, and give the scope resolution, then give the namespace name. Okay, so generally, so when we say variable name or function name here, the compiler we are telling variable name. This variable name is not belongs to current scope. When you give scope means this is not belongs to current scope, but to which scope it has to look? It has to look into the namespace name. So when we give the scope resolution, it will look, the compiler will look for the variable or the content which is present inside a namespace. Okay, now let's observe one program. Okay, so here I have two namespaces. One is namespace 1, namespace 2. Okay, if you observe here in namespace 1, I have a variable called global data variable called int data equals to 100, and a function called void fun cout namespace 1 I am printing here. And we have namespace 2, int data equals to 200, void fun cout namespace 2 handle. If you observe here, both namespace 1 and namespace 2 both are having the same variable name data, and both are also having the same function name fun. And at the same time we have one more variable global data. These are not present in any namespace, these are fully global. Okay, so these int data, this is a namespace 1, this is also global data but it is present under namespace 1. This is also global data but this is present under one namespace 2. This is also global data but this is present under unnamed namespace, means there is it is not present in any namespace. Now if you want to access the variable present in data, say for example I want to print the data present in namespace 1, and I want to print the data present in namespace 2, and also I want to print the data present in global session. How can we do that? Say now, and also see now I have one more complexity is increased. Now I have one more variable, int data equals to 999. Also there is a local variable. So when I say cout local data, if I say data like this, what it will do? It will print only 999, because always local variables will be having higher priority. Now what I have to do to access the global data means I want to print that global data, that is 1 2 3 4 here. But if I give data, always the priority will be given to local data, so we will get this one only. And if I want to print one data, means namespace one data, then what I have to do? If I do just data, again local value will be printed. If I give two data, again local value will be printed here. Now what is the solution? In the previous slide we have seen, we have to tell this data is belongs to, it is not belongs to current scope, means don't look into the current scope. What is the current scope? That is main is the current scope. Don't look the data, don't fetch the data value from the current scope. Then you have to place the scope resolution here. But from where you have to get? You have to get it from the global. So but this is unnamed namespace, so what you have to do, give is you have to provide a scope resolution here, and don't provide any namespace. In the same way, I have to get the value one data. Then what you have to do? You have to tell the compiler that this data you have to take it from the namespace one, but not from the current scope. Then provide the scope resolution operator. Prefix the data with scope resolution operator. Now scope resolution operator has to be prefixed with the namespace variable name, that is namespace name as 1. Okay, so you have to give one scope data here. So next I have uh, I want to print data of 2. So same thing, 2 scope data here. Okay, it will be something like this. So okay, so now here if I say scope data, scope means the data value will be printed not from the current scope, but from which scope? Here nothing is present, means unnamed namespace. The contents from here will be printed here. Now here I am telling I have to print the data, but where I have to print? Not from the current scope, but you have to get it from the value from namespace 1. Now the value from namespace 1 will be printed here. So in the same way I am printing namespace 2 value I want to print, then data scope 2. In the same way, if I want to call the function which is present in namespace 1, which is present in namespace 2, and also which is present in unnamed namespace. So what I can do is, if I simply call like this colon function, or you need not to give colon here, sorry, scope resolution here. By default it will be called, because we cannot give the function declaration inside this, right? So directly we can call this function, or even if you give also nothing wrong. So now I want to call the function from namespace 1. What you can do? One scope fun. So fun will be fun definition will be linked from namespace 1. Okay, now when I say to scope fun, this function will be binded with this namespace 2 function. So call to the function 2 will be namespace 2 will be triggered. Okay, now so this is how we can access the contents. Okay, just now let's see in the programmatically how the values are values we are getting. Okay, so same program I have taken here. Okay, namespace 1 is there, into data equals to 100 void fun in namespace 1, namespace 2 into data data equals to 200 void fun in namespace 2 into data equals to 1234 cout global function. I am writing like this. Now so here what I'm doing is I'm just directly calling this data. So let's see what it will print. Compiling. So compilation is successful. When I say here local data, global data, namespace 1 data, namespace 2 data, all are 9999, means this is a local variable only. So here function also global function only it is calling. Okay, just have a look this program once again. So here this global function only this one is getting called. So now what I want is here I want to access the data which is present, which is present here in unnamed namespace. What I have to do is I have to tell the compiler fetch the data value from not from this scope, but from where you have to fetch? from the global scope. Global complete global scope means it's not present in any namespace, then just leave it like this. Okay, so now this one is namespace one. Now give the scope resolution. Now the compiler will understand this data I have to fetch from, not from the local scope, but from where it has to fetch it from namespace one. So in the same way here, this data has to be not fetched from local scope, but it has to be fetched from namespace 2. Okay, so now here also I want to call the function which is present inside namespace 1. Okay, one function. Okay, so now I want to call the function which is present in 2 fun. Okay, so like this we can give. Okay, we'll access once again, we'll compile it once again. Now see, so local data 999, global data 1234, namespace 1 data 100, namespace 2 data 200, global function in namespace 1, in namespace 2. Okay, you can cross check this whether we have got the proper values or not. Okay, so first local data 999, so it is there 999. So next global data 1234, so global data is 1234. Okay, so after that namespace 1 data 100, namespace 2 data 100 200. Okay, so 100 and 200. So next global function, this is calling global function. So next this one is calling function which is present in namespace 1, that is in namespace 1 we can see. Next we can call the function which is present in namespace 2, that is we are giving in namespace 2. So like this we can access the namespace contents by using scope resolution operator. Okay, now just I wanted to show you something here, uh, pretty interesting one. Okay, so what we'll do is I will generate some uh, .wo file here, scope resolution minus, sorry, minus C. Okay, scope resolution operator. Okay, now what I will do is when I do here I can see .wo. Okay, I am typing read elf minus s shift sorry minus s and .o. So here what it will do is it will show the symbol table. Sorry, not capital S, it's small s. Okay, now you can see small s. So this is the symbol table present in namespace. This is the symbol table which contains 32 entries here. Now if you observe here, can you see here something like this? Underscore z entry 1 4 data e. Okay, so here and also you can see underscore z n3 1 3 fun ev. So here underscore z is the naming convention, n means namespace, 1 means so 3 y3 this is this number of characters present in the namespace 1, so 1. Okay, and 3 and 4, that is 1 2 3 4 data, number of characters present in data, and e. Okay, so at the same time function also underscore z n 3 1 3 fun ev. So means whenever we are writing, let me open another tab. Okay, so here what I will do is do scope resolution dot cpp. Okay, so if you see here, just observe namespace one. So here you have, you can see data and here function. So two variables are declared here, data and function. Whenever we are using namespace, what compiler will do is even though you have given data for this, it will rename it, it will do name angling for your variables present inside namespace. So for data, what it will do, instead of data, it will make this data, even though you have given data here, what your compiler will do, it will rename this data as underscore z underscore z n for namespace. 3, how many letters are there in this namespace? Three, name 3 letters. And what is the namespace name? 1. And how many letters are there in this variable data? So 4 letters. So 4. Okay, the variable name data and environment. Okay, so this is also one naming convention. Now function, how it is treating, whenever you are calling this function, what it will do, it will say underscore z n 3 1 3 fun ev 3 why 3 3 characters, 3 characters inside function. Okay, it will rename the function. So for namespace 2, same thing. See, you can see namespace 2 contents here. Okay, for namespace 2, what it is doing, underscore z n324 data e underscore z n323 fun ev. So for us, even though it is same for us, data present, the variable name present inside namespace 1 and the variable name present inside namespace 2, both the variables name are same for us, but with respect to compiler it is different names. So that is the reason we have a flexibility to have same variable name inside inside the different namespaces, but we cannot have the same variable name inside the same namespace. We can have same variable name inside different namespaces. Okay, but compiler will differentiate. So this is called name angling. We will discuss about this name angling further more in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so um, this is the one method how we can access namespace contents by using scope resolution operator. Okay, so like this, use scope resolution and prefix with namespace. If you are accessing global variables, global members, use scope resolution and don't give any namespace. These are called as unnamed namespace contents. Okay, so now some key points you have to remember here. So scope resolution method is the useful when we are accessing the limited number of namespace contents in a limited times. Okay, maybe say for example, in our namespace we have only 1 or 2 contents, so we are accessing for a limited times. Okay, and this method is more accurate. Okay, it will, whatever you have given, you will get the same value only. So if you are trying to access namespace 1 contents, it will give namespace 1 only. If you are trying to access namespace 2 contents values, means it will give namespace 2 only. So scope resolution is the most appropriate method and most accurate method which will give the proper values. We'll see the using declarative and directive methods, why it is not that much accurate. Okay, so here there is one limitation. Say for example, when there is a need to access the limited number of namespace contents many times, or maybe say for example, if you want to print the value of data of namespace maybe 100 times you want to print, so what you have to do is you have to type cout one scope data, cout one scope data, cout one scope data, wherever you are using you have to write that one scope, one scope, one scope, like that you have to print many times, 100 times. So that is unnecessarily you are adding the values. Okay, so that time you have to, for every time you have to prefix the scope prefix scope resolution operator before the namespace content. For every time is a tedious task. Okay, so that is the thing, we have to go for another method if ever we are encountering such type of scenarios. Same as usual, as I mentioned, so it will be like, say, what I have to do is, sorry, I could have, say for example, if I want to access namespace content, yeah, I want to print this data, or I want to use this data which is present in namespace 1 for 100 times. So what you have to do, 100 times you have to write like this: one scope data, one scope data, one scope data. Every time wherever you are using, you have to use it, because after this line the visibility won't be there, so you have to mention this one. Okay, this is compulsory. Okay, if you are not giving this one scope, then by default it will look for the current scope. Okay, so that is the reason. This is means what is the limitation? Whenever we are trying to access limited number of namespace contents for more than one time or many times, if we are using accessing, then this is not an advisable method. Even if you use, this will work, but this is not an advisable method to access the contents. So we will see in the upcoming section how to resolve such type of situation by using keyword. Okay, that's for today. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and share.